everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Kelly, and if you are new here, welcome. Do consider subscribing and join our little family. In today's video, I'm going to speak about books. Yes, I'm doing a lockdown book haul for you guys. Over the past 6 months, I have collected a couple of books, and I say collected because I'm quite the book lover, and no, I have not read most of these books. So I'm going to be going through the story behind each of my purchases. So let's get into it. The first two books I got these just before lockdown in March. The first one is Man's Search for Meaning by Viktor Frankl. It's a very popular book. It speaks about the author Viktor Frankl's experience in the Nazi concentration camps in Germany, and he basically speaks about his experiences, the things he had to go through, the things that he saw in the concentration camps. Really heart-wrenching book. It sent me quite into a bit of an existential crisis. So it's not the kind of book I would suggest if you are in lockdown by yourself and you're reading this book. Any other time, go for it. But it's really cool. He speaks a lot about suffering and how when there is a purpose behind your suffering, it makes it a bit more enduring. It's a really cool book. It also speaks about hope and how, you know, that you can go through a lot of suffering, but when there's something on the other side of that suffering, it kind of makes it a bit better. So yeah, really cool book. I thoroughly enjoyed this one. The next book I want to speak to you about is Daring Greatly by Brené Brown. This book has been highly recommended. I haven't read it. I read the intro, and I did watch a TED Talk of Brené Brown where she speaks about vulnerability, and it really captivated me. However, I have to wait on reading this book. I'll tell you guys a little further on in the video why, but I'm really looking forward to this one. I really have heard a lot of cool testimonies and reviews on this book, so also one that I would highly recommend that you get. Okay, the next two books, this was not really a planned purchase, but I actually just got these books while I was buying photography equipment. And the first one was The Greatest Salesman in the World, which tells the story. This one is also a very old book by Og Mandino, and it tells the story of a poor camel boy who rises to success and basically just his journey. I've read this one halfway, so you'll pick up that I do love reading, I do love books, but I also have this habit of starting a book and kind of reading it halfway, leaving it to pick up another one. We're working on that, but yeah, so this is also a really cool book, very easy to read, very interesting story. And the next one is Invest Your Way to Wealth. I got these two together, like I said, from Takealot, just to bump up my free delivery cost. But this book was quite a surprise. It wasn't the one I thought I was buying. There's another book that I wanted that has quite a similar cover, and also they also have a similar, like it's about finances. I enjoy reading about finances. I feel like, you know, I have to get my finances in order. I'm at that place in my life. This book is about finances. It speaks about debt. It speaks about asset classes, time versus money, and how you can get value for your time, risk-free assets. So it's really speaking a lot about things that we, like normal people, don't really understand about finances. So I'm really looking forward to reading this one as well, but it'll have to wait on the shelf. A lot of these books weren't on my to read list for 2020. I normally do have a list, but as you all know, nothing about 2020 has gone quite as we planned. So a lot of these books will be sitting on my shelf until next year, but yeah, we'll see how it goes. I just need to get through my 2020 list first. The next couple of books that I bought, the next 3, I bought these in one go. And I must say that there was a sale at Bargain Books. Like, Bargain Books just has a way of getting us, guys. Like, seriously. It says it all in the name. I think these books were like not more than 100 Rand. I think this one was 50, 60 and 70. So really bargains basically. And also the nice thing about these books is when I bought them, I didn't go to my normal section in the bookstore. I am usually by the business section, finance section, self-help section. But these ones, I kind of was looking for something a little more light reading, a little bit more leisure reading. So the first one is The Sun is Also a Star by Nicola Yu. I hope that's how I say her name. Forgive me if it's not. But this book it's also a motion picture now. And it basically speaks about these 2 teenagers, Daniel and Natasha, and it tells their stories and how they are both going through a bit of a dilemma. Classic boy meets girl. Daniel is quite a dreamer. He's also a poet, and Natasha is a bit of a realist, quite cynical. I started reading this book on Sunday, hoping to finish it by the end of the weekend. And they meet up, and will they fall in love? We don't know. Get the book. It's quite a cool read as well. And if you're not into books, that's also okay. The movie is also really good. Then the other book that I got is called Woman in the Wings by Karine du Plessis. So this book caught my attention because I bought this one like during lockdown, and it was the time where we had the whole tobacco ban debacle here in South Africa. It was also around the time when the song Zol came out, and that one went quite big. So this book caught my attention because it tells the story of Nkosazana Dlamini Zuma and just her life, as well as her career in the political arena here in South Africa. She is someone who has sat in parliament, sat through all 4 of our democratic president's terms, and this book, I'm really interested in reading it, to finding out a bit more about her life in politics, and where she's headed. I mean, she might be our first female president here in South Africa. Who knows? So I'm really interested to read a bit more about her story and her life, and just to kind of see, where she's come from and also where she's headed. So I hope this book will do that. And something just about the author, Karine du Plessis. I remember her. She is a journalist, and she used to work for City Press. Round about the time I interned for them during an ANC conference, actually. I think it was in 2012, I think. Yeah. So I was an intern during the ANC conference, and I was working with Karine, well, not directly with her, but I mean, we were in the same room. So very interested to reading this book. And then the other one, Ordinary People by Diana Evans. Honestly, this book, I have no clue who Diana Evans is, no clue what this book is about. However, the price was really good, and I mean, look at how pretty this cover is. So yeah, I kind of picture myself lying on a beach somewhere in South Africa when I'm reading this book. Now that we are on level 1, we can make those plans. So yeah, that's how I picture myself with this book on a beach somewhere. So once I've made those plans, this book will definitely make it into my suitcase. Then the following 3 books. Now these books have a very interesting story. You guys know how during the time of lockdown, there has been a lot of like influencers, a lot of business people doing these giveaways on Instagram. Shout out to all the people that are very patient, that have been very patient with me, with all of my tagging when I enter all of these competitions. During lockdown, I spent a lot of time on Instagram. So yeah, thank you guys. Thank you. It was not in vain. I did win a couple of prizes. This book being one of them. More Myself by Alicia Keys. And this book, I think it was Bargain Books that had like a little giveaway. And I wasn't the first person to win this prize actually, but the original winner never claimed her prize, and that is how I got it. So thank you. Yes, so also very interested in reading this book. I think to enter the competition you had to like comment your favorite Alicia Keys song and tag a friend. And I have a lot of favorite Alicia Keys songs, so there was a whole bunch of comments from me. And then the next one, these two are also prizes, like they were also giveaways by the authors themselves. And the interesting thing about these two books is because they're both female authors, and they're both South African female authors, and they are both in the finance genre. So big shout out to Nicolette Mashile on What's Your Move. I am so eager to read this book. I think this one was a Women's Month giveaway that she did with a friend of hers, and Nicolette is one of the people that I've got introduced to her YouTube channel when I, went out looking for kind of financial advice. I do say advice. So yeah, I've been following her YouTube channel for quite some time. I'll link it down below. Really cool, go-getter, young entrepreneur. So she just has so much wisdom when it comes to finances, and I'm so happy that she's put it all in a book. And yeah, you can basically get this book anywhere in South Africa. I know Bargain Books has it, I know Exclusive Books has it, I know it's also on Takealot now, so if you like buying stuff online, yeah, really cool. I'm looking forward to getting into this one. And this one as well, You're Not Broke, You're Pre-Rich. I'll also put a link to Mapalo's YouTube channel. Also really interested in just reading this and reading her take on how, as young people, as young women, we can navigate our finances. So big shout out to them. Then the last two books I got, so these two books I got, this one was actually on my reading list for this year, the 5 a.m. Club, and this book I got because I will be reading it in the month of October, so coming from next week, but the reason for that is I recently started a book club with my good friend Jabi. She also has a YouTube channel, so if you are into self-care and mental health, she speaks all about that and gives some tips and advice on her channel. So if you are into those things, I will put a link to her channel down below. Do check her out. But yeah, we started a book club. We launched it a couple of weeks ago. It's called Blossom and Zeal. I will also put a link to our Instagram page down below. And basically, we are going to be speaking about personal growth, self-care, and just reading books on how we can develop ourselves, how we can grow and just become better versions of ourselves. And the first book we will be reading together as the club is the 5 a.m. Club. So I'm really interested in reading this book. It is also widely recommended. I know a lot of people have read the book and joined the 5 a.m. Club because it speaks about how when you elevate your mornings, you get to elevate your life, you get to get more done, and using that first hour of the day when no one else is awake yet, it's quiet, how you can really use that first hour to the max to get some self-care done, to get some exercise in, to meditate, to pray, whatever it is, to read, whatever it is that, to do those things that we don't really have time for once the day starts. So really, really eager to get started on this book. I might start a day or two before the first. But yeah, if you want to join our club, like I said, I'll put a link to our Instagram page in the comments, in the description box, I mean. So yeah, do check it out and get the book if you want to join us. And then the next book, this one was Jarby's pick for our book club. It is Outliers by Malcolm Gladwell. And this book we will be reading in November. Yeah. So October we'll be reading the 5 a.m. Club. November we'll be reading Outliers. And then in December we'll be reading Daring Greatly, which is why I kind of left it until the end. So I'm looking really forward to heading out on this journey, starting a book club, learning from other young people, and just, forming a little community. So head on over to Blossom and Zeal if you are interested, if you are a book lover like myself and like Jarby, give us a shout out there. But yeah, let me know what you thought of this video. Are you into books? Is it your thing? Would you like to see more of these kinds of videos, or would you like me to review some of the books on my channel? Do let me know in the comment box, and also what are you currently reading? But that brings me to the end of the video. Do give it a thumbs up if you liked it, and subscribe. Hit that bell notification button so that you know when I upload my next video. But for now, I'll see you in the next one. Bye!